This meeting of the Charlton Conservation Commission to order. Any chair member committee reports?
None.
Any mail or phone messages?
None.
How about public inquiries?
Do we have any public inquiries?
Okay. Approval of minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look at all the minutes? Yeah.
I know Dale sent a last couple, 3 ones towards the end of the day. I assume you have not.
I
Those
looked
are
at,
late, which is fine. We were just trying to get up to date to the minutes, but I believe the ones that have been looked at, it was January 10th, August 14th, September 11th, and October 23rd.
no, I did the 25th. No? Yes, no? I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, no. She's saying no? I don't remember. There was 3 that she sent out to this afternoon.
Did you look at those
I
3?
looked, I got to look at one.
Oh, okay.
I think it was, so I looked at
Probably January. Why don't
both
we?
of those two.
Oh, the January 24th? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if
So-
anybody else has, but I did.
I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from January 10th, 2024, January 24th, 2024, August 14th, 2024, September 11th, 2024, and October 23rd, 2024.
So I need a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion approved.
Second?
Second.
All, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, okay, motion passed. So the first one we have is a notice of intent for 35 North Main Street.
Is anyone from 35 North Main Street here tonight to present the project? 35 North Main Street. Oh, maybe if I allow people to enter the room, I will know. Okay. We have, I know them all, I would meet them, but they're not from.
Was he supposed to be on there?
So I have not had any requests for continuance or otherwise, so
Keeps going on the
I
agenda.
didn't have, I had to wait. So is anyone for 35 North Main Street on Zoom? I believe there is none.
So you need a continuance until what's the next
I'll
week?
need a motion to continue the public hearing to December 11th.
Motion to continue.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed? DEP 1281945, 4 Oxford Road.
Do I have anyone on Zoom for 4 Oxford Road? Sorry.
Okay.
No? I'll request a motion to continue the public hearing to December 11th, 2024.
So I need a motion to continue.
Motion to
Good
continue
night, sorry.
4 Oxford Road till December 11th.
Second? Ron? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
NRAD, DEP 1281950, 130 Sturbridge Road.
Yes, do I have anyone, Robert?
Yes, hey, this is Robert
How are
Phillips
you?
with Langen. Very good. How are you?
Good, do you mind just giving a little overview of the request, please?
Yes, of course.
Are you planning on
So,
sharing a plan with us at all, or should I pass my hard copy along?
No, I can pull up a plan here. Just one second.
I don't know if the commission is familiar with the area.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, excellent. So the property is 130 Sturbridge Road. The current owner is Premier Trailers. They have been leasing the property since 2018, if I'm not mistaken there. and then recently acquired the property in 2020. The property is essentially up, 20 feet or so from Route 20, and then, it's just like a plateau around the developed portion of the site. So right now, it's currently being used as a trailer parking yard. As we slope down, we have a series of wetlands around the property. So on this plan, this is to the west. And what we've done is requested the ANRAD for a portion of the delineated wetlands that would affect any development on the property. So if I zoom in here, you can see we start at flag 61, and anything to the west of that is essentially inferred. But really the request is to look at the wetland flags as it relates to the developable part of the property. So this is the biggest wetland series over here to the west. In the rear of the property, we have an isolated depression, which we've also submitted in the ANRAD. We studied to make sure this wasn't isolated land subject to flooding. And Art Allen, the peer reviewer, agreed with those calculations in the field delineation, concurring that this is isolated wetlands back here. Essentially, the previous owner of the property had, you can see this berm on the survey, had bermed up this portion of the site, sort of created this man-made ditch back here. Other resource areas include this perennial stream, which is off of the property boundary, but we wanted to show it to make sure we were accounting for the riverfront area that would be on the property. This was the only comment that Mass DEP had, which we addressed. They asked that we essentially just provide some more detail on how we delineated the offsite stream. And it's really a combination of USGS topo maps, aerial imagery, and then the field delineation that we could get while we were out there. The width is conservatively shown in some areas from 7 to 15 feet. Mass DEP asked that we essentially confirm that with stream stats data, which that average width is about 7.4 feet, if memory serves. It's just over 7. So the bankful width is in line with that, and we got the peer review letter back yesterday or this morning?
This morning.
Yeah, this morning. Essentially confirming all of those things. 1, the field delineation of all the wetlands that you see on here. 2, that this isolated depression is isolated vegetated wetland and not isolated land subject to flooding. And 3, that our delineation of the perennial stream, offsite perennial stream, it actually reflects field conditions.
Does the commission have any questions? So right now, they're not proposing any type of development. They're just request the commission to confirm the boundaries, which has been confirmed by our peer review.
Yeah, that's correct.
So at this time, I would recommend a motion to confirm the boundaries and issue the ORAD as depicted on the plan, revised plan.
So I need a motion to accept, that's the revised plan, right?
I'll make the motion.
To
Yeah.
yes, a
Accept.
motion to confirm the wetland boundaries depicted on the plan.
Okay. So I need a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? All set? All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Thank you, Robert. I should have it ready for you tomorrow.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Have a
Yeah.
great night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, almost, it really hurt me, this. I don't know what it
I don't know, battery, something.
was.
Yep. Okay. DEP 128-1952, 169 Sunset Drive.
You can just step right in. Thank you. Can you state your name?
Christina Barber.
And you can explain to the commission what the application was associated with?
Okay, I live in the Narrows of Gleneco Lake, and there's a retaining wall that has been there for ever. My father built it.
Excuse me. Rose, is that speaker on? Is that microphone
It
on?
is, it's just echo. Maybe you can move further away from you, or I
Father,
think it's echoing. Try now.
Christina Barber,
Put a little closer.
Yeah, bring it a
yes.
little-
Yeah.
closer.
There we go.
go.
Is that better, Mitch?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I live in the Narrows of Gleneco. I have a retaining wall that has been there forever on the property. My father built it years ago, back in the 60s or 70s. It is deteriorating, and it's starting to fall into the lake, and we've been, through the years, buffering it with just rocks in front of it, and we just simply want to continue adding rocks, riprap, to keep it from falling into the lake, and then lay rocks along the top so that they'll just drop in behind where the wall is now currently.
So it was brought to my attention that that's exactly what the property owner was doing, just adding rocks in front of the retaining wall. And that's when I conducted a site visit and explained to her that she'd have to file in order to do any type of wall repair. Throughout the process of filing, they continue with the rocks being added to the shoreline. And once she filed the application, clearly at the time they had already finished the work, so I didn't request any type of change. But clearly DEP came with comments, which was expected. So usually when we have wall repairs on the lake, they remove the wall that's deteriorated. They either replace it with a new one, or they use riprap to hold the bank into place. What was done here, and I'll pass the pictures around, the rocks were just being added in front of the retaining wall. And unfortunately, the regulations will allow that, but you have to go through a kind of engineer process in order to do some type of, what they call, they have to show the proposed elevations and the existing elevations, so that requires engineering, which usually don't request for a wall repair. Unless, of course, you're adding in front of it, and you're adding to the lake, so you change the water flow, you change land underwater. So I need to explain to the applicant that it will be up, of course, to the commission, but here are the options that she has. Remove all the rip rocks, remove the retaining wall, and do like everyone does, either replace the retaining wall with a new one, or just put the riprap against the bank. Or you have to hire an engineer to prove that and to respond to the comments from the state. Because according to the regulations, what you're doing right now will
Yeah,
require
yes.
engineer
Close wall
calculations,
back.
because you're filling in the lake.
Well, there were already rocks along the base, and as the tiers were coming out, we were simply putting rocks there.
It's changing the
Right.
And,
water here.
So those are, the existing wall is made out of railroad ties.
yes,
So what's gonna prevent the railroad ties from deteriorating further?
It won't,
the rocks will
Yeah,
hold
but you got
it in.
stairs made out of retaining, railroad ties. You're not, I mean,
Those, we could just pull out, or fill that with rock also. Put rock
But then-
on top of it.
so, well, that, so.
yeah, but you can't be putting rocks in the lake.
Right, so
Well,
when your general description was replace retaining wall approximately 34 feet, railroad ties deteriorating, removing, replace, and shoring up with rock, so you never removed the retaining wall.
Well,
retaining wall is
as it
still
was
there.
deteriorating on the top, yeah, we were taking it out.
Right, so the regulation, it will allow you have such work, but we'll have to have an engineer calculation to prove the impacts will not be result in land underwater. That's one of the, and borderline subject to flooding.
It's a big job.
So those are big words that even if I try to explain, but unfortunately, that's what the state is requiring. So
Okay.
when we sent those pictures to the state and they noticed that there was additional rocks being put in front of the wall, what you're doing, you're filling in the lake
I understand
and the
what,
land underwater. So that requires calculations to prove that you actually within, that you are doing, that you are
Not doing
complying with the Wetlands Protection Act. I don't have a way of providing that information to you, and the state is requiring. So,
okay, so how do I do that?
as I'm saying, it's up to the commission, but again, it's also to you I feel that she should have an option.
What would you like her to do? Take the stones out?
Oh, I can request her what to do, but I would say that it depends. We hire an engineer right now to go through a process of that, and at the end, she still have to remove the rocks in the wall. It can be costly.
Very costly.
Right, so clearly, we can impose that, but she has to comply with the regulations. So usually when we have repair wall, retaining wall repairs, the applicant remove the deteriorating wall and replace with a new one, in place, in kind, so it doesn't alter any additional land underwater. So that way, that's the simple in-kind replacement, does not require any engineering calculations. GP will be satisfied with that. Right now, they're requesting additional information on the existing elevation, proposed elevations, if it's affecting borderland vegetated to flooding, if it's,
How many feet?
there's a lot.
How many feet?
Is the
Ah,
wall.
It was about 37.
34, I think you put it on?
34.
Yeah.
34 wide? And the stones are out there 4 feet maybe?
No, they're out maybe,
You know what, Pete was the one who took the pictures. How far from the wall into the lake are the rock, the,
Foot and a
I would say maybe 2 feet.
15 feet.
So we're talking 60 or 80 square feet.
Could be, but I can't provide that information on her behalf to the state. And I would like to, I would not be comfortable, issuing her a permit the way it is and have the state appealing it and putting the applicants into a,
So the two options are you get an engineer to show that it is, or you take the existing wall out and
I
rebuild it.
personally don't think it warrants getting an engineer.
Right, so
well, it's her decision. I'm
Right,
just
so-
giving her the options.
So the option is get the engineer, satisfy the DEP that way, or take the existing wall and rocks out and rebuild it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it is her decision.
That's- so
so
that's the
if,
options.
if we pull out
The riprap.
the deteriorating railroad ties and just push the rocks in where they were, that's okay.
Well, no, you said it has to be rebuilt in kind, right? So just putting rocks in place, your plan was just push them in so that you just,
Put rocks.
you're not building a
just-
wall.
I'm not building a
Right,
wall.
some people do hold the bank riprap,
There-
that's allowed.
Okay, so then how would you access your waterfront, your water?
We would just get you can buy for $200, $300, a platform with stairs that go, and it's
Would
about,
that have to be identified in this
Yeah.
application?
So so you
Were
still
you planning
adding,
on putting more stones back to the wall on top of what's there now, or straighten-
right now, the
No.
dirt is just falling in behind the retaining wall, and I just wanted to put flat stones there so I don't break my ankle by stepping into a
Basically a
hole.
repair. It's a repair.
right, but she's not repairing,
But she's
she's
not-
adding stones.
Existing wall.
She's adding
But she's-
stones to
but-
the existing deteriorating wall.
That's the point. The wall's gonna keep deteriorating no matter if she
And then she'll
keeps
keep
adding.
on adding stones, so she actually adding into the lake, so that's why.
We're talking a few,
No, but yeah, but in the wave action in the narrow, she'd be better off
With
taking the
riprap.
wall out and pulling those rocks up and adding the
well,
platform
the
that's
wave
there.
action, those rocks are better than,
That's what I just said.
Exactly.
Yeah, with the wave action, she's better off taking the deteriorating wall out, pulling those rocks up and putting that platform with the stairs in.
Well,
that involves an engineer, correct?
No,
No,
no, that would just be,
she's just riprap.
it'd be revising the application to exactly what she's doing.
Well, her intent is to hold the bank from eroding, which everyone who lives on the lake is doing.
Would you be comfortable taking that wall up, pull those stones back on the banking where the wall was?
yeah, I mean, as it's been deteriorating along the
Wanna
top, That's what we've been doing, is pulling him and
So you
putting,
were planning on taking those railroad ties out or whatever they
No,
are?
she wasn't planning, she was just putting the rocks to hold it from
To hold it
falling
from
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's where the state picked on, yeah.
Well, I think she did a pretty good job myself.
Right, but you're filling land underwater into the lake. Right now, it doesn't look like because the water has been drawn down, but
I understand that,
yeah.
but we're
But-
talking a couple of feet out.
they're not, you're allowed
Right.
to do so, but you had to provide enough calculations to prove they're not triggering land underwater and borderland subject to flooding,
I
so.
think, Rose, anybody with any common sense can see it's not, 30 or 40 square
It's the
feet.
regulations, so I'm just citing the regulations and what the state is requiring, so it's up to the applicant to decide what she wants to do.
there were always rocks in front of that retaining wall. And all we've done is add more rocks on top, and as the retaining wall, the tiers deteriorated, we took them out and just
Right.
put rocks.
Can you stack those stones up back a little closer to the wall?
Yes,
You can't,
but that's the same, triggers the same concern with the DEP.
yeah.
but
The-
those, we haven't really encroached on.
You have added into.
We've added rocks, but
Right.
there were always rocks along the
Yeah,
bottom.
Right now, it was brought up to the
But if she
attention.
takes those rocks and brings them back and piles them up in front of the wall,
Not from the wall, on the bank,
She has to,
is the wall that has to go.
the wall has to, the wall's deteriorating, the DEP either wants her to take the wall out, which then she could pull those rocks back up on the bank
Yeah.
and add the stairs, or she has to do the calculations to show that it's not triggering the wet. Those are the two options.
So
Based on the
so we
DEP's
as the board
comments.
only have the two options.
We give her those options and she
We
decides
can't,
what
we
she does.
can't, yeah, like, we cannot tell her what to do, I don't think, so I would like not to. I'm just giving her the options that she can decide what works best for her, given the situation she has. Doesn't have to be decided tonight either.
So, can I just leave it alone?
No, because you filled in the lake with the rocks.
When did you put those rocks there?
I had pictures that was presented to me when they started the work, and they continue. So it was within few months.
I was asking her.
Oh, I thought you were
I was
asking me,
her
sorry, yeah.
When she put the rocks
We've put rocks in front of that
over a
wall
period of time.
over years.
Yeah, but you just
But
recently
we
added
just
more, right?
recently added more.
Yeah.
But throughout the years, we have always put rocks
So
in
what's your-
front of that wall.
What's your next plan? If conservation didn't get involved, what's your next plan? Just gonna kind of leave it like that and?
I was just gonna leave it like that and just put some flat rocks on top
On the top of it.
where it's sinking down and just let them sit there so that I don't step in them and break my neck. Basically,
But
that's
that-
all.
Right, but that doesn't prevent the wall, the retaining wall as is from deteriorating more.
I
'Cause
think
you-
we're just missing the
So-
point here, that any work in the shoreline requires filing with the notice of intent. So that's, I think that's the big picture here, which did the
So what
work
you're-
without the permit, and now she filed for a permit, and the state had comments, and we just need to make sure she's in compliance.
It appears to me that maybe she wasn't planning on taking that retaining wall out. She
That-
was gonna put
that's the-
stones there to hold that wall. in
Right,
place.
right,
Right, but,
Just as, because it started leaning this
Right.
way and we just
which is
buffered
the
it,
problem.
which is what I wrote in the,
You kind of engineered it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it works.
unfortunately though, it's already
it
gone to the
works.
DEP.
It works for the
Unfortunately,
water.
It's gone to the DEP and they have comments and questions and concerns, so now we have to apply, go back with the two options.
I'd be content into tell her not to go any further, stack the stones.
Yeah, but we
up on
It's
can't-
top
against
of
the
it.
regulations.
tell her
Lee.
that.
Yeah.
You can't tell?
We can, no,
The
the
DEP gave us two options?
DEP,
No, GP is
no.
giving no option.
They didn't give us any options.
GP is
Asking
asking
for
for
more
the project location appears to be met as a
So who's
FEMA.
making decisions here?
We're not making any decisions, Mitch. We're reading what the reg says and what the DEP replied.
Regs are.
Regs are what we're sa-
Regs are bent every day.
No, so that's great, but we're supposed to uphold them. So we're
To the
trying to,
best of our ability,
and
with
we are
common
trying,
sense.
okay, we're trying to, we're giving her options.
May I read
Go ahead.
All we're doing is making her spend money.
May I read it? So her neighbor filed the project and did his work under a notice of intent like every lake residents do. I think the rule applies to everyone. So here are the comments from the state. The project location appears to be mapped as FEMA Zone A, which corresponds to bordering land subject to flooding, and may be proposed within land underwater. The expansion of the wall footprint or grade changes could result in impacts to land underwater and/or water land subject to flooding. The commission should request additional information regarding construction details and an updated sketch showing existing and proposed elevations. Borderland subject to flooding and land underwater resource area impacts should be quantified on the notice of intent and considered even if it's temporary in nature, and the applicant should demonstrate that relevant performance standards have been met. These are common comments for anyone who does
How
wall
did the EPA get
repair.
involved?
GEP,
Or how did the EPA get involved?
She filed a notice of intent.
Hmm?
She filed a notice of intent with a scope of work.
they filed the state.
It had been my understanding, mistakenly I find out, that if you hand carry things down to the lake, you can put it on the shore. And that's what we were doing.
Yeah, but you were adding.
So you-
So if you had a rock wall that had fallen in and you were taking them out of the lake and putting them
This is
back
another one
up,
of
that's a
those
different
cases
thing.
where Some of the members should have gone down.
He did, Pete did.
Besides
He
Judge
did.
Rose
Pete did.
And you. Members.
Pete did.
Peter Capuano, did you
You
not see?
did go down, Pete?
Yeah. Oh, did you not pass the picture around? I'm sorry, I thought the
Yeah,
phone
no, they
went all
saw
the
the
way.
pictures.
I mean, how could people go down there? I didn't get the agenda till I asked for it today.
What does it have to do with?
The agenda wasn't sent out last week.
Okay, as I'm telling you, if you're not comfortable to do anything tonight, then you push it, continue, the rocks are already there. I just don't
A small
understand.
little project like this should never even come up with the DEP or,
It has to if it's fixing a retaining wall. You have to, everybody else on the lake does it.
she's repairing an existing
But it's not an existing rock wall, it's a
that's
railroad
your
tie
opinion.
ride. No, that's
No,
not.
that's
No,
the
it's not.
regulations,
It's
Ron.
in there.
Take it easy now.
And work
It's not
within
my
100
opinion,
feet
it's
of the lake,
fact.
you need to file for a permit.
So if we're not gonna decide anything on it, we just can
It's
continue.
about 34
Sure.
foot long.
Yeah, we can continue.
It's pretty stable.
It's not a couple of feet beyond the steps in one spot there.
You have such a freaking mess.
It looks pretty natural to me.
It's
It looks
not,
like
that.
some-
It's not though.
It's filled into the
It's
lake.
filled in to the lake to support a crumbling railroad tie retaining wall.
That's a good engineering, to support the wall.
Again, it's adding rocks to a lake.
You want me to ride around that lake and show you what's going on in that lake?
I live there, so I
I know you do.
understand what's
I know you
on
do.
that lake. I also understand the headaches it is when somebody does it right and then finds out somebody doesn't do it, go through the right procedures.
Sounds like she's trying to do it right.
And she is, she's gone through the right
I
procedure.
would like to let her pull those rocks back as far as she can, pile some on the wall, come right up in front of the wall like this, you know? a foot.
It still doesn't answer the DEP's questions,
Were
though.
you notified about this?
Well, I think it answers it.
No,
That's my answer.
how does it show the impact of not impacting the shoreline and the lake and the flooding and everything else that they
Because we're
asked for?
sensible people. It
Does-
doesn't, you don't
no,
need an engineer
no.
to tell me that that's impacting the lake.
It is impacting the lake.
If you come up with a wall a foot in front of that wooden
Mitch.
wall, or a foot and a half or so,
And the wall itself, she's just said, is still deteriorating. It's not gonna stop. What we're trying to do is help her fix it so it does stop. And no more rocks, no more dirt gets into the lake.
I can see no more dirt get into the lake, but the rocks, I mean, the rocks are gonna keep anything from coming into the lake.
Yes.
Not if they don't have the crushed stone in there and everything else that's gonna hold back the loam that's back
Has she
there.
got the only deteriorating wall?
Right
around
now,
the
that's
lake?
the only lake, the wall around the lake that we're talking about. I don't know of any other ones, do you? If we don't wanna do anything about it tonight, we can continue it.
The only concern,
I'd like to get it settled. continue.
then,
The only concern with continuing it is their next meeting is not until December 11th. And
Right.
if she is to do any work, this is a good
I
time
would
to
make,
do
I'd like
it.
to make a motion. I would make a motion, pile them stones up as far as you can, towards the wall.
You can make a motion, but
Yeah,
I am-
you
know
can't
I
tell,
can make a
but
motion.
that's, you can't tell her what to do.
I need to I need the commission to understand if the motion is to allow the way it is. And I issue the permit just as so. DEP will appeal the order of conditions, which is gonna cause a lot of trouble to her. She's gonna have to end up hiring an engineer regardless. So this is for the benefit of the applicant. It's for the, I just don't understand what, do you understand, I don't understand what the questions, we have retaining wall repairs applications in front of us all year long. They follow the process, they remove the wall that's deteriorated, they replace a new one on the same footprint. Once you change the footprint, you need to come up with engineer calculations, so her option is to come up with the engineer calculations or keep the footprint where it was historically.
You know, there's a lot of people around the lake in town that don't have the funds to do all
Okay.
this extra work.
But you can't,
She can't do it herself, she gotta hire somebody to do it.
I can't,
It's everybody else's option that has to do a retaining wall too. You either do it yourself or you hire somebody.
What would you like to see us do?
I would like to,
Don't be bashful.
I would just like to be able to place rocks on top of what's there now, currently in those photos, or not even do that. Leave it alone. Just
I would
leave
like
it
to
as
see
it
you pull them
is.
rocks back as far as you can, towards the wall.
And yes, I
Stack 'em up.
I have no
So instead
problem
of-
with that.
Instead of encroaching 2 feet or 2.5 feet into the
it's a
lake,
violation, yeah.
you're only a foot into the lake.
Well, if it was like a foot in front of the wall,
Should've made
that
that happen.
was already there. So I
You
mean,
had
I
it before.
could push
Somebody
it
reported
Not gonna
back,
happen again.
absolutely.
What's not?
What are you requiring the applicant to do is against the regulations, it shouldn't be an option. She filled in the lake with rocks, she either removed the rocks, or she provide calculations to keep them there. I'm sure there are residents who live in front of the lake in here.
What do you think?
I just think that you're gonna have the same problem
Right.
ongoing.
How many rocks
As the wall
she's gonna
keeps
add?
deteriorating and it keeps leaning, you'll be putting more and more stones even behind it. And I think it's
At this point.
gonna be an ongoing problem for a while,
As that wall
doing what you
deteriorates,
wanna do
as
right
that wall
now.
deteriorates, the stones are gonna be put
Put
You don't-
back.
away from the wall,
You can't,
You-
where
but you-
the wall was.
but again,
The
so
stones
she,
aren't
Why
gonna
doesn't
go
he
through.
understand
I don't know. So again, any work within 100 feet of the lake requires a permit. So is she gonna be filing for a permit every time she has to go there and add rocks?
You know, I'm not gonna add any more rocks.
Right, it
What-
doesn't matter.
What is there
So-
now, I could.
Just
throw-
make a motion
I'm
so we can
sure.
move forward. I have a long discussion here. My recommendation is that she either hire an engineer to provide calculations requested by the state, or she does the retaining wall repair like any other resident on the lake. Remove the deteriorated wall and place the rocks to hold the bank from further erosion on the same footprint. So that way she doesn't have to comply with any type of engineering. That's my recommendation, so the commission can make a motion to one or the other.
If we let you, and I'm not saying, I mean, this is my opinion. If I can convince these guys and girls people to bring them rocks back towards the wall as far as you can, stack them up. And take a chance on DEP telling you, no, you gotta take that wall out of there. I really don't think they would do that.
They will.
They will.
They will.
They've already given comments that they want to, so I agree with Rose. She's got two options. She can do what the DEP asks her to do, all those calculations, or amend her notice of
So
intent
we as
to
a board
show
can't-
that she's going to comply
We can
with,
give her a permit to build a rock wall there, right?
if she,
Yeah,
if
In
she
the
already
place of
has
the
it,
old
she already
wall.
has it. If she
Yeah.
takes out the old wall, and she could use those rocks to build the new
Why
wall.
you gotta take out the old wall?
because it's deteriorating, Mitch, and it's not the same material. Railroad ties deteriorate over time. She's saying that every time she finds one, she pulls it out. Just take them out, put the rocks there, you're done.
So it's all about footprint, right? So let's say if the
You guys,
wall,
you've got my feeling. You guys make a decision.
so when you're
I just
working,
have a hard time making people in this town spend all kinds of money.
so
Just trying to protect their property.
so when you were working on the shoreline, the more you go into the shoreline, the more you're disturbing. So if she remains within the same footprint of the existing wall, she doesn't need to go through all these calculations. But when she's adding 2-3 feet in front of the already existing, now she's adding that, so that counts as disturbing land underwater. It's pretty simple, so she needs to make a decision of how she would like to proceed. So can I issue the permit with exactly language, and when I submit it to the state, they're gonna say that you did not disturb or impact any land underwater because you were pulling everything back.
So if I just say, forget the whole thing,
You can't.
I
You already
can't.
added the rocks into the lake.
I'll take them out.
You can do that, yes, I can give you a permit for that, if you
Okay.
remove them all. What are you doing with
I'll
the?
remove the
I
rocks
just need
that
to
we
know the
put in.
details, so what are you proposing tonight?
I will remove the rocks.
Take your rocks out, sit them on top of the wall and build it back a little bit. Build the wooden wall, the face there.
Are you, we're not allowed to, we should not
I'm
be
not
giving
allowed
the
to do that.
resident to.
What?
We're not allowed to tell them what to do.
So what are you proposing, removing the rocks?
I can take
From
the
the
rocks
shoreline.
out from where they are in front of the retaining wall and place them back behind the
Back towards your
retaining
rock.
wall. Yeah.
Behind the retaining, isn't the wall falling towards the lake?
Well, if I take the rocks from in front of it and I put them behind it, then that tie, we can pull it out.
Well, that's what I'm asking, so you're proposing removing the wall? When I write it, the special order conditions, I need to be specific, because this goes to the state. So I need to make sure that what you do is being permitted. So if you'd like not to make the decision tonight, you're not required to.
As the wall deteriorates, why not remove it and fill that spot in with stones? Just don't go any closer to the water.
That's what yes.
Okay, so you're proposing to remove the stones they have placed on the shoreline.
Not encroach any further,
You're proposing to remove the stones that you placed on the shoreline, all of them.
And I can leave them down by the shoreline.
Leave what down by the shoreline?
I don't have to carry them up to my driveway. Or
no, you leave them right there.
I
Not
can
on the shoreline, you need to.
Yeah, but on her property, her
On my
retaining wall is
property.
tall. Yes,
in front of the shoreline, I could
Yes.
leave them there,
on the top, basically, it'd be
On the
on the
top.
top behind the retaining wall, on her
Okay.
on the
property.
top. I could
Okay.
do that.
Okay,
All the rocks that we added. I
Okay.
can leave the rocks that have been there through the years, correct?
I'm sure you know which ones they are. Casey.
As long as, I would think, as long as they're right up against that wall.
They're right up against the wall. Those ones, yeah, those have been there for years.
right, regardless they have been there for years or not, that's in front of the commission now in the state, so you need to make sure that you now increase the footprint from the retaining wall.
Okay.
So there'll be no.
No rocks in front of the
No rocks.
retaining wall.
No rocks whatsoever
On the
in
side of
front
retaining wall.
of the
Correct.
wood,
Yeah.
even
Correct.
if they've been there for 20 years.
Correct,
I have to remove those existing rocks
correct.
Yes.
that have been there.
Correct. Unless you'd like to hire an engineer to provide the calculations of the footprint change and the impacts to the lake, which I cannot provide that for you.
You got a
Yeah.
couple extra $1,000 you wanna spend?
I really don't.
Okay, so there's your options. Those are the options, based on what the DEP has asked.
So everyone goes through this process, I just need to explain
Well,
to you.
I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah,
Like I
it's just
said,
unfortunate that,
it was a misunderstanding
Right.
on my part because
and that's
work
why
has
no
been done like
enforcement order has been issued, and we just requested her to file an application, because I knew we'd like to continue the work. but it is the reality now.
So, I wish my husband had never thrown one rock in there.
She's afraid to say anything.
So we have to remove those rocks,
Yep.
Correct.
and I can leave them in the front of my yard,
Not on, yeah, that it wouldn't be on.
Temporarily,
on
yeah,
my
Yeah.
property,
Yeah.
in the front of my yard.
temporarily, yeah.
Because they're up from the shoreline, they're not in the lake.
Okay.
So what are you proposing to do with the wall? I just need to write it down if you're proposing to
Okay.
remove the wall.
Well, that's.
And again, let me explain to you, this is a 3-year permit, so you don't have to be doing that this year if you choose not to. You
Quite
have 3,
frankly, I just want to sell.
yeah, I'm just letting you know, you have 3 years to repair the wall.
Okay.
The rocks must be removed, it's a violation of the Wetlands Protection Act. But the wall, if you choose, you know what, maybe I wanna think about it, maybe next year, I would like to replace the wall with something else. So you have 3 years to go through that process. The problem right now is the fill into the lake, which happens to be the riprap and the rocks.
So my option is to take them out. I'll take them out.
The wall,
The rocks.
I understand that, I just wanna know what you do with the wall.
I'll let it deteriorate.
Well, I would say, since you have a permit right now, why don't I issue a permit for you saying that we'll be replacing retaining wall? You don't have to, but if in a year or two she chooses to, the
Okay.
permit is valid for her to do the
The
work.
permit is valid for
Yeah.
3 years.
That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to explain. So why don't we handle the fill into the lake, which is the rocks, we'll remove them, so you're no longer in violation. I issued the permit saying that she has a permit to replace
She
and
has 3
repair the
years to
do it.
retaining
She has 3
wall.
years to-
And I have
And she
3
has 3 years to do it.
And I have 3 years
As
to
long as
get all
there's-
those rocks out.
If you need help
No.
carrying the stones out, holler.
No. I will explain for, once
Okay,
again.
Couple guys
I
here will
will
help you.
I will get those rocks out.
Like immediately, the rocks.
I will start throwing
No,
them
no,
on
I'm
the
not
floor
saying, I
tomorrow.
just want to make sure, that's not what I mean. I want to make sure that you understand that not in 3 years.
I understand
Okay,
that.
okay, I just want to be, so.
I will start throwing them out tomorrow.
Okay, so here's so the motion would be for the applicant to remove the rocks that were filled into the lake without a permit and issue the order conditions to allow the repair of the retaining wall within the period of the permit, which could be up to 3 years.
I'll make that motion.
Perfect.
I'll second.
We came to an agreement.
Ronnie seconds it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
You don't have to start moving the rocks tomorrow because you don't have a permit yet, so let's
Oh.
hold back,
I
okay?
want to get a head start.
Let's hold back.
Don't go
Again.
near the water tomorrow.
Again,
won't.
any work within the 100 feet of the shoreline requires a permit.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so keep that in mind, we don't get into any situations like that in the future. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Uh,
We are resolved, right?
Oh, yeah.
You ready? Next one, maybe?
I need a second.
Thank you.
You're welcome, have a good night. Oh, who made the motion? I'm sorry, who made the motion?
It was Mitch and Ron.
Mitch and Ron. Okay,
DEP 1281951, Burlingame Road.
do you mind just reading the?
The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the construction of a single-family home within 100 feet of a BVW.
Thank you. Hi, David.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Chairman. Please, Chairman.
Actually, we don't have a chair or a chairman, or a,
Clerk.
Good
vice
evening-
chair, we have our
Good evening,
clerk.
board members,
you go.
agent, and general public on Zoom and in the room.
All in
My name is
attendance.
David Sadowski, I'm the principal of DJ and Associates, and I'm here with the Burke family. The Burke family has owned this property for 90 years, the grandmother had it. Stephen now owns it, and he wants to put a single-family house on 17 acres of land, just one house. He's gonna
Before
have-
you continue, would you mind providing me the revised plan, please?
Yes.
I don't have one, so I can pass around the commission.
Permission to approach the bench. That's
Thank you.
That's the plan, and this is the addendum sheet that shows the whole perimeter.
The state required a little extra, yeah.
What's the address there?
It's just Burlingame Road, it's just above.
At the bottom of the hill?
Just above the pump station, that whole side.
Thank you.
That could work.
Oh, where are all your colors? Didn't come with this one?
Well, no, the other ones are colored, you can see, the wetlands are still.
This will be enough, David, otherwise that's the back of the site.
They wanna
Yeah.
see the whole lot?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the entire piece. It goes against the power line easement and the pump station.
As we go down past the school, school's up here.
Yeah, the school's up around the corner. There's a locust map on that one.
He's right here, right?
Anyways, when the applicant went to go to look at sites to build, in the springtime, there's a runoff that is, it's called an intermittent stream. It's not even mapped. I asked Rose about it, and it shows up nowhere on your maps that there's even a wetland in that area. But Mary Ann DePinto, who used to be with the DEP for 30 years, she went out and she's Three Oaks Environmental, she flagged the extents of the wetland that's created down through there for the years that water always drains down in there. What we're proposing to do is take a box culvert, open bottom, the bank is 4 feet wide, the box culvert will be 6 feet wide, 3 feet high, and it will allow the water to flow under unabated. So the top section will connect to the bottom section, the driveway will just go right over the box culvert. So we won't damage any of that brook area that
Bank.
is seasonal that runs through.
So there'll be no bank disturbance.
Right, now, there won't be there'll be a drilled well up by the house, outside of the 100-foot buffer.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to tie into the town sewer. So there'll be a 2-inch force main, it will start up at the house and it will run down through. We've already submitted the plan to Vincent.
But they don't have water down there.
No. Vincent Mastrodone, he's with Viola, or whatever the name of the company is that handles your pump station. And he's reviewed it, and he said that, you know, he had some ideas, we made some changes. So the 2-inch force main that we show, he's agreed it's in the right place, and it's in the middle of the driveway, to minimize the impact to go through the wetland.
To force the drain. This is the well. It's in the it runs down the middle of the driveway, is that
That's
what you're saying?
correct.
So it's gonna follow the driveway all the way
Yeah.
down?
And the
Okay.
driveway is a cart road right now, so there's a cart path that goes through. The real reason for the big plan that's over here with Mitch is to show how wide the wetlands are at other places and how narrow they are where we're proposing the driveway.
DP wanted them to prove that they were crossing the narrowest
Part of the wetland, okay.
Yeah.
Right, and it's already been a cart road, so it's already had an impact through that, you know, riding through and back. Now, we're proposing a replication 1.8 times the amount of fill that we'll be putting in where the crossing is. There's 273 square feet of crossing, we're proposing 490 feet, 95 feet of replication. And it's hydraulically linked, it's right below the crossing, right into the bank. They'll hand shovel out 6 to 9 inches of the A layer, there might be some leaf litter, maybe a little bit of B layer, and they'll reach the hydric soils. So the plants will be allowed to flourish. There's a scheme of the plantings, there's 5 of 3 different types. There's high bush blueberries that are going in there, and 2 other types that we're calling out that'll go in that area. And then we're gonna get the wetland seed mix and sprinkle that around the base of all the young shrubs. And those things will just take off in the spring and grow in that area. So it's basically a single-family house that will go in. We show erosion control, silt fence, and straw wattle from the road all the way to the house and up on the side of the house. Even outside of the 100-foot, we're still gonna maintain the erosion control barriers. And just make sure that we protect the wetland that's through there. The Burks wanna live and enjoy that piece of property, raise a family there, and they wanna stay in Charlton.
Is this
Any questions?
house high enough that you don't have to add a pumping station for the sewer hookup?
Oh, yeah, they're gonna have, it's a force main, it's a
It-
2-inch line that's gonna
So
have
it's
to go out.
gravity feed? Or you need a pumping station?
It'll need the pumping
Okay.
station that the town has a certain one that they require residents to use. It's a
Is that-
6-foot deep well.
Shown here?
Yes, it's right next to the house is a circle. It's maybe 5 feet off. It shows the 6-inch PVC connection into it, gravity, and then from there will be a force main that will run all the way.
That's foundation drain.
Right near the front porch, there's a circle. I could approach the bench and show you.
Please, Oh,
Oh, is it that little one?
Yeah,
Where it says proposed foundation drain?
No.
no,
No?
I had it on my colorful one.
You see?
This is the new one.
This is a higher elevation.
You see it? That's what you just gave me.
Yeah,
now.
this does not show.
Yeah, 'cause I knew I had it on my first one.
Right.
Not that much bigger.
The driveway, the front porch.
Right, so, yeah, that's what
Right here,
right,
somewhere.
that's what I thought it was, but then he said no.
Yeah, it's,
Then we gotta go down to here.
here, when I first, this is the first plan that I gave to
It
Vincent.
has,
was gonna
shows
be
the
a-
pipeline,
There's gonna
yeah.
be a 6-inch line down to the station
It
down
doesn't,
here.
that's not shown on this one.
No, it should be shown right up next to the building.
Okay.
Vincent said he'd rather have the station
4 or
here,
5 foot difference
and then a
between
force main the full length underneath the driveway.
we're gonna
So it's
have to
not on
revise
here.
that plan.
Yes, the plan got revised, I think I just brought the wrong copy.
Okay,
So this is.
so,
Can I see your
but he said no, he said he was gonna go over here.
Right, it's gonna move here.
Move it
First, he
here.
asked, he
Yeah,
proposed
okay, got
first
it.
to cross the wetlands, so it wouldn't make any sense. Now
Now he's gonna
moving that
follow the
direction.
driveway all the way down. Okay.
Sewer's
Is it there?
got nothing to do with it.
No, you know what, I must, because I redid both plans, I must have turned off the force main layer.
Okay. We're gonna have to have that one.
And then follow the driveway down.
We have a lot of abutters for the project, so we can ask for the.
Yeah, again, this is the one with the, we were at first proposing a 6-inch PVC down to the low point, down by where the crossing was, and then the force main from there in the station, but Vincent said that the type of stations that they have, the 2-inch main next to the house would be better to put the
Pump it
station
all the
there.
way.
Pump it all the
and
way.
just pump it all the way.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about digging 6 feet down in the wetland
Yep,
area.
yep,
And then
okay,
maintaining a
that sounds-
station,
yep.
plus how much it's gonna cost for 6-inch PVC all the way down to there on a gravity feed when the force main will be capable of handling it. It's really only about a 12-foot change in elevation to get.
When it gets to the road, is that gravity feed down to the,
Yeah, there's gravity feed that goes down to the pump station, and there's actually a force main that comes up the road too.
you've done your homework.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and basically what the pump, the public sewer requires is private, just previous to going into the road, they require a manhole there. So you come up into a T, and then you gravity flow through that manhole, then it gravities under the road into the, it ties into a Y or a saddle, and then drops in. That way you won't get a push on the line itself and have something maybe happen in the future. So you establish another manhole at the side of the road.
Gotcha.
We have abutters.
Yeah, do the abutters have any questions or comments?
Have one on. Can you just approach, please, and state your name and address? Thank you.
Hi, it's Paulette Monfield, 49 Burlingame, and believe me, you sounded great. I just didn't understand it. I'm concerned with what they've put in right now. They've put the barriers in with the hay bales, like,
So today, they unfortunately started installing erosion controls prior to the public hearing and the permit being issued.
okay,
I did contact the property owner and request that all activities on site should be ceased. There are no activities permitted on any site until order conditions is issued.
okay.
So those erosion controls are there. I could have asked them to remove them, but I would prefer to go there and inspect if they are on the correct location and the project is approved tonight, they will remain there.
Okay, so I guess my question and concern is the brook that used to be there, you can kind of see where it still used to be, because your grandfather had a nice little bridge over it, and we used to go there as kids. So when they build this new one, the culvert, how big will it be so the water can flow? Because if I remember, the
Can I
water
show
has
her
to
the
flow to the power line.
Is that a 4-foot?
Through the board, if I can answer it, you can look, but
I just wanna
it's
get
gonna
that.
be 6 feet wide,
Okay,
open bottom, and 3 feet high.
okay, so that'll be enough that when the overflow and everything like that goes
It
through?
looks like this,
Okay,
so it will be 3 feet high.
Yep.
On the inside, it'll be even higher up to the top. It'll be 6 feet wide this
that what it
way,
says on
and
there?
it'll be the length of the driveway.
so with all the water that's, like, I don't know where my house would be, but across the street here where it's all the wet, okay, so where all the wet, okay, so this is where all the wetlands is. This can be flowed here and it's going to go right through to go straight down? Okay,
Oh, no.
that's all I wanted to check on.
So the area that's goes through the little stream is 4 feet,
It's the
so the
inside.
culvert is 60.
Look
So
at where
it gives
that
an
is.
extra
It's the
foot
inside
on
height.
each
It's the
side.
top of
Okay.
the inside. So
Nope, that's all I wanted to make sure is that the water's gonna be able to flow freely.
Yes, that's comply with the regulations. You cannot impede the water flow.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, that was a good question.
Anyone else?
Anybody else? I guess not. Anybody on Zoom? Anybody from the board have any other questions?
Everything looks great.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make a recommendation to close the public hearing
Do
and issue
do they have to update that?
the order conditions pending on new revised plan. Move the sewer,
Sewer hookup and line?
line, showing the plan. I need a motion
So I need a motion to approve the order
to,
condition?
close the public hearing and
Thank you.
issue the order conditions.
I'll make that motion.
In a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Nobody? Okay.
Passed.
Thank you very much for
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm gonna give them back, this back for you, David, because,
Yeah, you need the,
You want the earlier one that's colored?
yeah, I'll keep
Yeah, I
the,
actually did, you guys didn't even see my coloring job, I
Oh,
colored
no.
the 30,
Look
the
at
50,
that.
the 100, both sides of the
Beautiful.
road, go through the culvert, I even painted the driveway gray like that you see from space. Tell ya.
the Google shot, you know.
Well
Then I
done yourself.
forgot the enforcement.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Right.
I know, I guess I can close the public hearing. Was that it?
The other thing is fine, I just ordered it. Already paid. No kidding. $600, bring it down.
Okay, so we have a request for determination of applicability, 11 Knollwood Drive. The applicant has submitted an RDA for the installation of a 10 by 16 shed and associated land disturbance work within 50 feet of the BVW.
Yes. John, are you on Zoom?
Do not see a John.
I don't see John. John is also not present. The commission allows, I will present it so he can move forward with his shed. It's just,
That's a lot of crayons.
it is, so.
How's the shed, what?
It looks like a Dave Madden
So it is a
football
simple
thing.
shed, however, it's very slopey. So he's gonna have to fill it in order to level,
And
to
you know what
grade.
the level, yeah.
And that's why we request the RD, but I asked him to at least stay outside the 50 feet, so he didn't have to go to the whole notice of
Is he gonna
intent.
fill it, or is he gonna use blocks?
No, he's gonna bring the grade up. So I can pass around his drawings so you can have a better idea.
Crushed stone pad with 2 to 1.
So proposed 10 by 16 detached shed on a 14 by 20 crushed stone pad level with 2 to 1 side slopes to the north, south, and west sides of the shed. The stone pad consists of a 4 of 3/4 regular crushed stone, not compacted on a 12 inches, mine is crushed gravel.
He's putting a pad in.
Yeah, he's putting a pad in. He's doing clearly erosion control. I have requested because it is a slope there and he's 50 feet from the border vegetated wetlands. The total scope of the crushed stone shed pad comes to within 50 feet of the edge of the wetlands. So,
What's the existing grade now in 10 feet? Is it a foot,
Can you
2
count it?
feet?
probably 2 feet, yeah.
So it's not gonna take a whole lot of
No.
crushed stone.
No, since, yeah.
Oh, you can have a better view. I know. So I just, I.
Okay,
stuck
that's
right
what he
here.
did, he just copied
He
it.
copied that, so here's the 50 feet,
Okay.
so here's where it
I
stops.
like these kind of plans.
So you have a better idea now.
So he just took
Let's
a
see.
copy of that.
This is,
So here's the 50 feet.
96,
And Where's he gonna be?
92.
He's gonna be
He's
fit.
right, like right here? This is the yellow, is that where he's gonna be?
Yeah, that's where the shed is. So
have to
he
build it too
goes
far.
from, so he goes from
200 feet
80
this
to
way.
88. Here, I mean, the shed's gonna be around here, so it needs to be like
Swamp
2
way the
feet.
hell down here.
Of grade,
Yeah, 2 feet, right.
Oh, 1 to 5 slope, yeah.
It's a lot of fill.
That's why I asked him to file, yep.
You look like one of my plans.
He just copied the big one and then wrote it on it.
This one's fine.
This is with conditions, is that what that be?
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions on this or comments or
Nope.
anything? So we need a motion for RDA with conditions?
Negative determination.
Negative
with
determination, sorry,
conditions.
with conditions.
Yeah, I'll make that motion
Can I
as
just have the
as
plan
discussed.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Can I have the other one as well, please?
The brightly colored one.
I know, thank you.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Yep.
So we have a request for a determination of applicability on Lelandville Road. The applicant has submitted a RDA for the installation of new poles, anchors, and an overhead line to extend electrical service from Pierpoint Road to Lelandville Road.
Yes. I think I have
Nope,
Kevin,
we have plans up and out.
yeah. Allison, right?
Hi, Rose. Actually, David's here to present, and
Oh,
I'm here to support.
Yeah, that's fine. Hi, David, how are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
I'm going to
Hope
step
everyone
out
can
because I
hear
left
me.
the folder in my
I've been
office.
having some technical difficulties today, so I'm gonna have to do this from my phone, which is why Allison is helping me today, so, all thanks to her for, doing the shared screen right now. But, anyway, so hello and good evening, members of the commission. My name is David Goldstein with BSC Group. I'm presenting this RDA application on behalf of the Massachusetts Electric Company. The subject of this RDA includes 7 pole installations with tree removals along Lelandville Road. There are 16 trees proposed to be removed for the installation of these poles. The proposed activities are located within the 100-foot buffer zone inland bank and riverfront area associated with Potter Brook. Project activities will be located within the existing disturbed road margin and will result in minimal ground disturbance, approximately 4 square feet per pole for a total of 28 square feet for the pole installations. No ground disturbance is anticipated in association with the tree removals, since the stumps will be left in place. MECO will access the work areas from the paved edge of the existing public roadway. This work is proposed as part of a regular electrical maintenance in order to support reliable electrical service to the area and to support higher electrical load. MECO is seeking a negative determination under the Wetlands Protection Act from the Charlton Conservation Commission to allow the project to proceed. And just a little bit more information about the trees themselves. So again, there are 16 trees proposed for the removal to accommodate the new poles and the new overhead line clearances. Those trees include 5 birches, 4 oaks, 6 maples, and 1 pine. And I'll take any kind of questions you all may have.
So I just have a quick question. Are you putting the new poles in the same spots and these trees have to come out, or are they, the new poles going in different spots from the existing?
There are new poles that are being installed along the roadway to, support the new residences that are along the road. So the new poles, they're like completely brand new poles that are being put in.
So are the
As
existing,
you can see from the mapping.
well, it's hard to see, but are the existing poles staying and you're just adding more? Is that what it is?
No, there are no.
Oh, there are none?
They're
Okay, gotcha.
extending the electrical
They're
line.
extending it.
Okay,
Yep.
got it.
But for the
Got
most
it.
part, you can see 11 there in the top left-hand corner. That's pre-existing, and everything else in yellow along the rest of the road will be new.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So I'm sorry, I stepped out. So the project is occurring within the riverfront area and 100 feet of the buffer zone. The activities will occur along the existing already, and this disturbed public way and impacts to dwelling places are not anticipated. Since the project is not expected to have any impacts to the resource area, I'll make a recommendation to issue a negative determination with conditions.
Anybody have any questions? Any other questions? So I need a motion for.
To issue a negative determination with conditions.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, David. Well, nice seeing you,
All right.
Allison.
Thank you,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Good night, Rose.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Okay.
Secretary stepped out.
Yep, that's fine. So we're on to certificates of compliance.
I know. All right, we can go through it super quick.
128-1894, 60 Hill Road.
That was brought up to the commission on previous meetings. We're just waiting for the erosion controls to be removed. So I recommend issuing a complete certificate of compliance.
Okay, so I need a motion to issue a complete certificate of compliance.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. DEP 1280984, 178 Nugget Drive.
This project was associated with the septic system filed in 2003. I did a
Oof.
site inspection on November 7th, and I recommend a complete certificate of compliance.
Okay, so I need a motion for a complete certificate of compliance.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I know what this one is, it's beautiful. 128-1893, 40 Glen Echo Shore Road.
This was associated with the patio retaining wall repair.
It's gorgeous what they did.
It was issued back in 2023. I did a site visit on November 7th, and I'll be recommending a complete certificate of compliance.
So I need a motion for a complete certificate of compliance for 40 Glen Echo Shore Road.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. DEP 1281700, 19 Robert Boulevard.
I had a site inspection on November 17th. This is associated with the garage in
November
2003. 7.
See, we're in the
I'll
future.
recommend a complete certificate of compliance.
I need a motion for a complete certificate of compliance for 19 Robert Boulevard.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I did put 17.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It was the slash.
1280913, 19 Robert Boulevard.
This was associated
Oh,
with the
111.
deck and retaining wall repair, issued in 2018. Pete conducted site inspection. Everything has been stabilized. I would recommend a complete certificate of compliance.
I need a motion for a complete certificate of compliance.
Motion.
Ooh, Ron got one. All right, second.
Beat me.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
DEP 1281901, 247 Brookfield Road.
This was an order of conditions issued associated with the construction of a
Is that-
single-family home and
Is that
stormwater.
508? At the
No,
motorcycle
it's,
place?
no, single-family home.
It is close, you mean as far as location? It's close to
Well,
it.
Yeah, it's not 508 though, it's close to it.
No, yeah, yep, single-family home and stormwater, site inspection November 7th. I'll be recommending a complete certificate of compliance.
Need a motion to issue a certificate of compliance.
Make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Extensions.
Yes, we have Route 20 roadway construction. Is there anyone here? Oh, Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Good.
Good,
I
good.
tried to turn my camera on. I'm not sure if it came on or not. Let me
No,
No.
it hasn't, which is okay.
No, we're trying it. It doesn't seem to allow it to- on my company computer, so I apologize.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for your time. Representing the Massachusetts Department of Transportation Route 20 project. That's 128-1837. The order of condition was issued in January 25 of 2022. It's a design-build contract. The contractor is underway. I'm sure you all know, you have seen and driven and experienced Route 20. The work is ahead of schedule, but it's not anticipated to be completed until spring of next 2026. I'm sorry, not next year. So with the order being issued on January 25th of 2022, it's going to time out on January 25th of 2025. Therefore, we have a request for an extension of the permit for the order of conditions. We submitted a Form 7. We did provide some information to Rose. I don't know if she shared it or not. Basically, a quick snapshot of some of the work that's been taking place on the project. Happy to go through that if you would like me to, or if you have any questions related to it.
I don't think it's necessary, so pretty much the extension is to allow them to treat the invasive species that are there, to monitor their wetlands replications, because they have to monitor even after the work is completed. So I would be recommend, if the commission don't have any question, a motion to issue an extension for another 3 years.
I'll make that motion, extend it.
Second?
Second.
Pete, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I can see you now, Kevin.
My camera came on.
Well, approved.
Guess I was shy.
I'll
So,
be issuing,
thank you, everyone.
who am I sending to, Kevin? The original.
Could you send that to Tracy Capoletti?
Okay, thank you.
And then we'll.
Have it
we'll,
recorded.
We'll file it.
All right, have a good night.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate
Yep.
it.
Good night.
Night. So no enforcements or violations?
No,
Okay. Old, new business, 371 Stafford Street, Bruce Lamprey Memorial Conservation
land
and
update. That was the Eagle Scout project.
Is that the one with the big sign when you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they finalized the project, just wanted to let the commission know that they have cleaned up the area and have put some signs so people can use the trail
There's a
for recreation.
Big orange sign that says
And they-
hunting
And then
season.
I have them to add the sign, because we allowed hunting, so the sign was to, make sure the residents knew that hunting season is in place, so they're aware of it. That's just an update. And then,
the
after
last
the
one?
fact, last one,
Certificate of Compliance, DEP 1281789 82 Pumpkin Lane.
just came after the agenda was posted. I put it under new business. It was just an, order conditions associated with the septic system. Pete did the site visit, everything was stabilized, so I would recommend, issuing a complete certificate of compliance.
Okay, so I need a motion for a complete certificate of compliance.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Is that it?
This is it.
All right, need a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second. 8:15.
Thanks for